Hi everybody, it's 2 o'clock on a Thursday, and today I am going to show you how to make this pillar card. I love it. I've never made one of these before, and they're quite easy to make, so stay with me and I'm going to show you how to make it. Alright, I'm using this stamp set by Studio Light, and it was at the front desk at the store. I hope they still have some. The price point was great, and it's little butterflies. So I thought I'd color them here. Now I use tri-blend markers. I quite like them. All three markers are in a set in one marker. And they're light, medium, and dark. I'm not even sure if they make them anymore, but I have them and I like them. So I'm just going to take the light and I'll color in my butterfly. It's sort of an odd pink though. I think I'll do it this color. There we go. And then I'll just outline it in the darker value. I don't even think this is the pink that I used on the original. But that's okay. And then I have this one. I love this color. So I'm just coloring it in with the lightest value. And then I will outline it. Hi, Patty. And then I'm just going to come in with a darker value in here. Kind of blend it all together. Hi, Darlene. I'm going to add a bit more dark value up here. And then take the lighter one and blend it in. And that's that one. And then the next one, I am going to take a yellow and color all this in. And then I'll take an orange and just color these in. Because they're so tiny, there's not a lot of shading or anything like that, so it goes very fast. And then I'll take a darker one. Not that one. And then I'll just take a black and go over the bodies. There we go. All right, now put my markers away. I have them in a handy spot here right beside me. I like the layout of my craft room. Okay, now that one is different than what I did. I cut these out by hand. These ones. So I'll use those. And then I also cut out a sentiment. I wish you all the best. And I just matted it on a pink, and then I'm also going to mat it on this blue. Okay? Just to give it a bit more color. All right, so those are ready to put on our card. All right, let's make the card. All right, so we're going to need to make these pillars, and I've done a handout for you right here. So I will put it in the PDF, and I will also give you a link in the card description, the video description. All right. Hi, Gail. All right. So the first larger column, it is 6 by 5.5. All right. That's not the larger one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to get my other. I think I'm gonna have to get my other one. Oh no, it's gonna work. Okay, so this large one is 5.5 by 9, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 4 3/4, and 5 1/4. All right, so this one is 5.5 by 9. The next one is 5.5 by 6, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 3 3/4, or 3 1/4, and 3 3/4. So that was 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 3 1/4, and 3 3/4. And the last one is 3 by 5.5, and you, with the short side at the top, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 3/4, and 2 1/4. Right? So those are your 3 papers for your pillars. All right, so now I'm going to fold on all the score lines. I'm doing all mountain folds or valley folds, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do mountain folds on all of these. And then the larger one, all mountain folds. Alrighty. Okay, so now on this, we're going to make the pillars. So I'm just going to fold in, this is where the 2 1/2 inch ones are. I'm just going to, or 3/4 inch, just going to fold on that second score line and add my adhesive here. And then fold this over. Whoops. I want to fold this. So now I forgot to fold that. So now these two inside ones, I'm going to fold it over on the first one here. And close it up. And then you get your first pillar. Okay? Now this is the back. Just going to trim a bit off there. This is the back where you have that join. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that because that's the back. All right, my next one, I'm going to fold it on the second one here and the first one here. So second one on the left and the first fold on the right. And you just go like that. And there's your second pillar. And then where it joins here, this is the back. So I'm just going to put that like that. And then your last one, again, 1, 2. Fold that over, and then you're going to fold on that first score line. And there's my third pillar. Okay? So now it looks like this. Now to make sure that these are right in the right spot, what you can do now is you can take your ruler and your pencil, and you can measure over on the left-hand side 3/4 of an inch and just make a little tick mark. 3/4 of an inch. And do this on the large one and this middle one. And this is just registration lines for placement of your pillars. Okay, so I've marked 3/4 of an inch at the top and the bottom on the left, 3/4 of an inch top and bottom on the left, and then of course you don't have to do anything with this one. All right, so now with that seam right here, it's on the right hand side at the back on all of them, and that's where I want it. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to put my tape on there, and then you can flatten this out because it's easier, and just line up top and bottom and line up with those 3/4 inch pencil lines that you drew. Okay, and then it's just going to pop up like that. And then this one, I'm going to put tape on the back. Flatten this out and then line up that 3/4 inch registration line. Put that down and then pop it all up, and that's what it looks like. So it's not hard to make at all. Alrighty. I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring down my trimmer and my paper. This is a Doodlebug paper that I've used before, and this is five and 3/8 by 5 3/8. All right, so it's 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Now, what we want to do is we want to cut 3/8 of an inch strip for the sides, and we want to cut 5/8 of a strip for the front panels. All right, so it's very easy. So this is at, I'm going to zoom in here. This is at 5 3/8. See that? 5 3/8 is right here. So now I want a 3-inch strip, so I'm just going to move it over to the 5, right? And cut. So there's my first strip. Now I want a 5/8 of an inch strip, so I'm going to move over to the 5/8, which is right here, just 1/8 past the half, and cut. And I'm going to keep these in order. So now I want a 3/8 of an inch. So now I'm going to go to 4 because there's 3/8 and cut. And then I'm going to go to the 5/8 here. So that's there. And then I'm going to go to the 3 because that's 3/8. And then I'm going to go to, so I'm kind of going backwards. So this, from the 3 to here is 5/8, but if I go this way, it's 2 3/8. And then I go to the 2. And then I'm going to move it 5/8 of an inch. So I'm at 1 3/8. And then I'm going to move it to the 1. So it's not hard to cut once you get going. And then this one I'm going to move to my 3/8, which is there. So I want this one to 5/8. So it's about there. Kind of guessing here. And there we go. There's all my papers. So once you start cutting, it definitely is not difficult. So here are all my pieces in order. Oh, did I do something wrong there? Oh well. Okay, I might have done something wrong there. All right, so now we're going to start gluing them on. So this one goes here. Looks like I might have made a mistake, but it's not going to be a big deal. Then this one. Oh no, that's right. And then this one. And you can lay it flat when you're doing this. Yeah, this one. I'm not going to worry about it. You can't tell. just keep doing this until the end. And then I have this one, last one. I love this paper. That's bright cheery card for this summer. So there we go. And then I'm going to put this on the front. And then my butterflies. Okay. Now I did another one. And there's our card. Oh, I think I put this one down a little lower. There we go. Isn't that cool? And then on the back, on the stamp, there's happy birthday. So I stamped that on the back, and then I'll just put that on the back for my personal message. And of course it all folds flat for the envelope. There we go. Now I also show you another sample. I made one using paper rose. You know, when I make those kits, I give you the instructions to make 5 cards. So this is one of them. So here's one for Christmas. So they're quite fun to make. So this kit will be coming out on the weekend, I believe. I'm going to take it up on Friday, which is tomorrow. And there we go. There's our card, the cute little stamp. And then next week, I forgot to pull my stuff out. So next week, on Tuesday, I'm going to do this one because I'm going to be at the lake and this is easier to take all the stuff. So this is the one I'm doing on Tuesday, which I love it. I'll show you how to make that. That's done with an embossing folder. And I love these butterflies. They're by Taylor Expressions. So pretty. And then on Thursday, I'll be back home and I'll make this one, which is the knock knock door, which is so darn cute. Have a nice birthday. Wishing you a nice birthday. So cute. All right, so those 2 cards are for next week. And I'm working on actually cards for the week after that as well. So I will post the link for the instructions in the description of the video. All right. Yes, Valerie, I love pillar cards as well. So thanks for joining me. Have a great long weekend, everybody. And I will see you. I'll be at the lake on Tuesday and I'll do my video. Thanks. Bye bye.